when I listened to your story, David, and got to know you a lot more over the last year, and I always enjoy the time we spend together, especially with Sean as well. But your story is almost 90% identical to my own, which for and there's many clients that I've got that I work with that have got a similar story, but I don't think I've came across anybody who as close as you,
The
like
journey.
literally, from a young age and fleeing the nest and
I think you'd said that the very first time that we sat down and had a meeting, when we shared a little bit of background and before we started working together.
Yeah, and this is why I get so excited, because every time you drop me wee updates like you did the other day, which we'll maybe get into that, about I've got this new venture and I've done that. I'm like, oh my God, this is just reminds me of me, going from one thing, getting bored with stuff. And but the problem is just what you've said there is that entrepreneur's curse, if you want to call it.
I would agree, because it's no, like, I'm probably like, I have done this now and I'm like, okay, great, what's next?
Well, that's what the same process with Richard Branson, and Richard Branson being dyslexic himself, and so am I. And I'm not sure if you share that, right?
No.
But okay, so that's why I said 90%, not 100. But one of the traits with people who are dyslexic is that they can't focus for 1 minute. They're chasing the next thing. They're over here, over there. And that was definitely Richard Branson. And it was a lot for me as well. So for me, it's like jumping from one thing to the other. And I did a lot of that in the early days until I realised, well, I need to actually build a business. I need to stick in something long enough to get it systemised and to get the teams working basically. And operational. Yep. And it seems like you're doing that because you know that that's the best process and it's starting to serve you incredibly well. So the problem is with that entrepreneurial curse, though, is that once you feel like you've done everything that you can do with that, even though there's more you can do, you feel like, what's the next thing that's going to get me going again?
Precisely, and it comes down to the motivation as well, and like how driven and how ambitious I would personally say I am, because like last year when we had Target, for example, over the course of 12 months, I'm like, I can't fucking wait till next year because I know I'm going to beat that. And you just get the confidence in your team and your numbers and everything else, and it just kind of falls into place. So it's something that I'm actively working on, because I know that sometimes you need to just steady the ship before you go again. So everybody thinks, in my opinion, success, you just go. The best way I believe success is if you obviously go on the jump, but you need that stabilisation in the middle, just to keep everything, on a level head, and then go up again and then keep doing it. You're essentially creating, if you parachute back off, where you're going back down to, it's not any worse than what you've been before, if that makes sense. So that's the way I try and look at it.